Hey book nerds, this video is going to be about my quarter wrap up of what I read. Stay tuned. Hey book nerds, welcome to my channel, dbooknerd. My name is Denise. Just to get it out of the way, please make sure that you subscribe, like, and hit notifications so that you know when I have more videos coming up. So what I'm talking about today are the books that I read for the first quarter of 2025. And it is a whopping 4 books, okay? So still going kind of slow with the books. I'm a little slower than usual, but hey, that's okay. I'm going to be another video that I think is going to be really interesting about kind of how BookTube is messing with my reading. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, I want to go through the books that I read the first quarter. I can safely say that I read for the most part, I read great books for the first quarter. The first book that I want to say, and just kind of get this out of the way, is The Crash by Frida McFadden. The reason why I say get it out of the way is not because it was bad, but because I did a whole video with my sister, Tony Reeds, and we talked about The Crash in detail. We did do a video, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Tony's in here. So my brain, I'm like, we did a video together, right? Or did I imagine that? So yeah, we did that and talked about this in detail. So I won't go over it again. I did like this book. This wasn't my favorite Frida McFadden book. As a matter of fact, I also did a video on rating the Frida McFadden books or ranking them. But it was good. So, I mean, I think all her books are good so far. I liked it, but you can find out more in the other videos. The next book that I read was one I've been looking forward to reading for a while, and it is called The Bookshop Sisterhood, and this is by Michelle Lindo Rice. This book was good. I did like this book. I love this book. And it was about 4 best friends, Celeste, Yasmin, Tony, and Leslie, who are on the verge of opening this bookshop or this bookstore. They had been dreaming about this. They had pooled their money together, and they were excited about doing this. And not only just having this bookstore, but making it something for their community. Now, with this came just a lot of drama. So of course it just couldn't open and just go easy. It's like all of a sudden all of their lives fell apart. You had one person with a child that was sick. You had another person that was having extreme financial problems. You had another person that was having marital problems. You were having another person that was having fertility problems. So, and then they were having friendship problems. And you just mix all that together, and it was a recipe for disaster. And of course, in the book that we see how and if they can overcome all of these obstacles and remain friends in all of this and open this bookstore of their dreams. This was well written. It was engaging. And I think the author just did a good job of showing us how life happens and how it can deter, or not deter, but kind of delay things. How friendships work, and and how dreams, can come true in spite of, even though it may look a little different than we want it to. Okay, I think that I gave this book a 4. I think that if I had anything to say, the friendship was a little weird for me. Like the friendship dynamic, and on one hand it was really good, and on the other hand it was kind of like, dang, like they don't act real friendly sometimes. So that was interesting. And I don't know if that says anything about the book, or it doesn't say anything about the book or the writing. Maybe that's just how some friendships are and they roll, And so good job, good book. I do recommend reading this, The Bookshop Sisterhood by Michelle Lindo Rice. The next book. Woo! Read it. If I read it, I finally see why everybody is talking about S.A. Cosby. Oh my goodness. Los Angeles Times, the Washington Post has something to say. The New York Times, Walter Mosley, who's an excellent author. All kinds of people have something good to say. All of a sudden the video went kind of dark. I'm not sure why, but it looks like it's lightening up. Must have been the Okay, can y'all see me? Okay. I think the sun must have went down. So anyway, I see why people praise this book. I'm going to get razor blade tears. I'm going to read it and I'm going to enjoy it. Now, this is a thriller. It's called All the Sinners Bleed. I can never remember the exact title. It's a New York Times bestseller. I see why. The cover is beautiful. It represents that kind of the mood. I tell you though, this is a thriller that is not for the faint of heart. Ooh, it's not, but it is good. This man can write his behind off. I tell you, I spent a lot of time looking up words because he was using big words, and sometimes that's a turn off. But I found it, I kind of found it intriguing. But also just not using big words, but just, it's hard to make pretty writing in a thriller. And he pulls that off. So the writing is pretty, but it's also so vivid that all the gruesomeness comes through. So anyway, this book is about Titus, and Titus is the first black mayor in this small town in Virginia. So you already have issues there. Then everybody acts like this small town is just so lovely and they never had a problem, and they forget about all the problems they had. But anyway, there's a school shooting. Next problem, okay? So then, not only is this a school shooting, but the shooting, I don't want to give anything away, but the shooting is behind something very interesting that unveils some ugly truths about people in the town, okay? And it just spirals from there. You have this group of white nationalists, I guess you say, that want to march and they want to save this Confederate statue. You have that going on. You have people that want to get him out of being a mayor. You want people wanting to take over the case about some murders that have taken place. So not only is there a school shooting, but there's a murder, and it looks like it's a serial killing type murder. You have them on this wild goose chase trying to find out and put the pieces together about who killed the people. And I'm trying to be very vague because I don't want to give anything away. I want you to enjoy this in all its juiciness, its loveliness, its horrificness, and everything. So you have all that going on. You have a excellent crescendo of how it ends. Great book. I enjoyed this. I was engaged. It took me a little longer to read than I wanted it to, but I did really savor this book. Now, my one thing that was hard for me with this book was that there was so many characters that I got lost with the characters. I couldn't remember who, what, when. I knew like a few. I knew Titus the mayor. I knew his brother Marcus. I knew his dad. I think his name is Albert. I knew he had a girlfriend named Darla or Darlene or something like that, and an ex-girlfriend. Then he has a whole bunch of people that work with him, and then the town and all of them, and you gotta have this preacher, several preachers. I mean, but it's good, and it's graphic, so hold on tight. It's triggery, so if you look up the trigger warnings, I'm not gonna tell you, but you just look them up. But it's good. If you like thrillers, this is the book to read. I can't wait to read Razorblade Tears. Okay, and so last but not least, I have a love song for Ricky Wilde. Y'all know I was, this is by Tia Williams, right? Yeah, Tia Williams. Y'all know that I have been saying this is my most anticipated read for 2024, and I kept putting it off, and I was irritated with myself for putting it off because I knew I was just going to love it, and it's so beautiful, and the cover's beautiful, and I like the idea of it being about the main character, Ricky Wilde, who grew up in this affluent Atlanta family, and she doesn't quite fit into that, that type of thing. They want her to be prim and proper. She's more, free and wild and all of that. And then she goes to New York and she's possibly going to meet somebody. I just thought it was going to be beautiful. It was beautiful. It wasn't what I was thinking. I just wanted a regular love story. This has a little bit of extra stuff in it that kind of threw me off and just made it not what I wanted. So without giving it away, I don't know. It's mysterious. maybe you could say a little magical realism or something like that. Not what I'm looking for in a romance. When I want a romance, unless I choose something like that, I want it real, okay? It was good. I did like the chemistry of Ricky and the gentleman that she ended up meeting. I did like that she was coming into her own. I did like the historical factors, you know, them talking about the Harlem Renaissance and just how much she really appreciated the Harlem Renaissance, and the different historical things that happened during the Harlem Renaissance. I really did like that. I like the culture, the artistic feel of it, but the whole love story was cool. And if you like this type of thing, you have to read it. You're gonna love it. If you don't, then it's just not gonna make it your favorite. So I'm a little disappointed with this. I can understand why people would love it, and then I can understand why people may have not been as happy. So I hope I did this justice. That's A Love Song for Ricky Wilde by Tia Williams. Okay? So that is it for the books that I read for the first quarter. That was January, February, and March. I'm looking forward to reading more books. And for the next quarter, and I think I'm going to kind of do these either every 2 months or quarterly, and share those with you, and I might even add a little twist, so stay tuned for that. I thank you all for listening, for watching, for subscribing, for commenting. Please continue to comment. Let me know which books you have read this year and which have been your favorite, which haven't been your favorite, and I hope you all have a great day. Be blessed and be book nerdy.